Is your house becoming even more cluttered? Professional organizer Helen Youn has tips to simplify your life and getting the whole family involved. Good morning.
Good morning.
I got to admit that because we haven't had people over for a while, that's when you tend to do a big cleanup, right? It's like I'm looking around and I'm thinking, oh, I got to get two things.
For sure. And everyone's spending so much more time at home, so everyone is reevaluating their space differently.
So what are your tips? And it's getting like all of the family involved, right? It's not just one person who's like running around trying to tidy up things, and it's just like this little wave that follows you.
Absolutely. I think it's so important that everyone in the household contributes because we're all living here, we're all contributing to the mess. And so, of course, we should all work together to keep organized.
Okay, and you have a specific look to September as well, right? When kids are hopefully going back into class. So what do we do? What do we get them ready for that?
Well, before you head to Staples and just buy everything, what you really want to do is you want to look at what you already have. So go to every single room, gather every single item. I organize using the KonMari method. So we organize by category and not by room. So you gather all your stationery supplies, for example, you gather all your pens, your notebooks, look at what you have before, and then you make a list, and then that way you can shop intentionally and mindfully.
Right, and that means going through the junk drawer in the kitchen too then, right? Like if you're through everything. And for people who don't know, KonMari is based on the advice of Marie Kondo.
Absolutely. So the KonMari method is all about joy. It was created by Marie Kondo, as you mentioned, and we organize by category. We joy check each item. We only keep the ones that sparks joy and that helps you support you to live your ideal life.
Okay, so you've done that. You've gathered everything together, and then what's the next step?
So you hold it in your hand and you ask yourself, does this item bring me joy? And do I see this item in my ideal life? And if it does, then you keep it. And at the end of it, you choose a home. And it makes it so much easier once every single item in your home have a home within your home. So for example, I have this uh, craft card that I created for my son. And when it's cleanup time, this card, he knows where everything goes, and he knows what the markers goes here. He knows that his pens go here, and it just makes cleanup time so much easier. And this is something from Staples, and you can use it for everybody in the house. There's a lot of different uses for it.
Right, and another kind of method of KonMari is also to not going out and thinking, well, I'll organize everything once I've got all these like organizing bins and everything like that, right? That's kind of the reverse of what you should be doing.
Yes, you should definitely look at what you're storing before you start shopping for all the different storage items, which I know is counterintuitive for a lot of people, but how would you know what you need unless you look at everything first?
Right, because then you might have empty storage containers hanging around, which is what I do. Before I did that.
Yes. Well, for example, if you're organizing your paper clutter, a lot of people would go out and they would buy a filing cabinet. But when we do the KonMari way, Marie Kondo says paper is the one category that doesn't really inspire joy. So what you want to do is go through all your paper, keeping only the necessary item. And in the end, maybe you only have enough paper to fit something like this, which is a magazine file. And you didn't even need that filing cabinet in the first place. So it's really important for you to just look at what you have before you start thinking about storage solutions.
Right, right. And that's a good thing too, so that when you are going to buy your back to school supplies, you know exactly what you need and you're not overspending.
Absolutely. You want to be mindful and intentional, and also just not to have too much clutter at home.
Because that clutter just kind of really gets in the way of just enjoying your home, doesn't it?
For sure, for sure.
Okay, Helen, thanks so much. We're going to get all your social media and your blog space and web space up on our website, chch.com. Nice talking to you.
Thanks for having me.